How's it going, guys? My name's Elliot Hardy. Welcome back to another Mashup video. Today's Mashup, we are going to be combining the lovable Zoidberg with the not so lovable Predator. Now, starting this drawing, we do what we always do when we come to this. We do a very light base layer, which I'm working on right now. I'm just doing the final couple of touches before I then lighten this layer and do a thinner, more precise line layer on top of that, before we go in with some colour. I also want to say that this was such an absolute blast to work on. I had so much fun trying to pick and choose aspects from both characters to try and combine into this. I don't even know what this is, but I had a massive amount of fun creating on this, and I'll be talking about how I did some of the things, why I did some of the things, and just kind of talk a little bit about what I did during this. Fortunately, when I started this piece, I already had a clear vision of kind of the direction that I wanted to take this character. I knew it was going to be based mainly on the Predator, but it was going to have clothes as Zoidberg, the hooks, the claws, shall I say, and the kind of tentacles. I'm going to have that overflowing, the open mouth that the Predator has. So I kind of knew the most direction that I wanted to take this in. But some fun little stuff that I added during was especially the fin on the top of the head. An episode I was watching, Zoidberg becomes, I don't know how to say it, kind of like a prime alpha, and he kind of develops this fin on the top of his head when he's angry and gets violent. So I thought that'd be a real nice little maybe fitting theme to kind of tie in with the Predator a little bit. So once I've finished with the line work, what I do is make an underlayer below it and fill that all with a base colour. Tends to be majority of the skin, because it's very easy to kind of blend the lines into the skin and add structure on top of a base colour rather than just going in with all the colours and just trying to create form. I find it much easier just to kind of keep colours to colours and then add shading and tone on top of that. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sectioning and layering each individual item. So I'm doing Zoidberg's jacket, different to the dreads, different to the skin, to the guards, to the belt and all that different stuff, just so that when I come to editing that, it's a lot easier to find, direct, and it's also easier since it's all kept to one layer. After applying a very light layer of shadows and highlights to the character, what I like to do then is create a new layer on top of all of that and use a very fine dark brush to define the features and also bring out some highlights as well. This is probably the part that I enjoy most about the piece, is really defining all the features, adding the highlights and getting it to look like a three-dimensional character piece rather than just a flat, plain 2D image. This is where I really feel like I can bring the character to life. And it also keeps my, I believe this is my style, I like keeping a little bit of realism, but I also do like the cel-shaded sketchy, cartoony look almost. But definitely I like applying that onto my realistic characters, so this was a ton of fun, kind of trying to turn Zoidberg from this cartoon and adding and trying to create a realistic version of him, but also combined with the realism of the Predator. And I think that's why this piece was so much fun to work on, because I believe I can genuinely see different parts of both characters at the same time. It genuinely looks like a mashup, and that's kind of what I was striving for, so I'm really happy that that's what I achieved. So for the most part, this is mostly what I do for the piece. I just render the darks, bring highlights, make sure the colours all match, just kind of bring the character to his life as much as I can. But what I like to do at the end is create a new layer on top of that and really make the highlights pop. So for example, I've used like a deep red for the skin. So for the highlights, I'm going to use kind of like a very bright orange, and hopefully that'll make the character look more three-dimensional with proper light forming on his skin. The last part of my pieces, the last part I do in all of my pieces, is just the almost bright white highlights that I do, mainly teeth on the eyes and on the brightest parts of the skin. And this is just once again to hopefully bring the character a little bit more to life and make him look just that bit more three-dimensional. And as we're coming to the end of the video now, all that I'm doing is I'm just finishing all of the final lines, adding quick last minute highlights before adding layer noise, just to make it not look so clean and crisp, just to add a little bit of texture to the entire piece. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this. It's been a blast to work on this, as I've said. If you have any really good ideas for characters that should be mashed up, please leave them in the comments below. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitch, where I will be doing a lot of these recordings live, as well as some other stuff as well. So thank you again guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye for now.